Üdvözlöm Önöket! Észak-Kelet-Hollandiában vagyunk, a Carp Zwollén, amely a maga 21 éves múltjával Európa egyik legnagyobb kiállítása. 10 ország 150 kiállítója hozta el Önöknek a legújabb termékeket az idei pontyszezonra, és látni fogják, hogy nem csak a kiállítók, de maguk a riporterek is nagy ágyúk lesznek filmünkben. Jöjjenek és nézzünk szét egy kicsit!
Hi, I'm here with Mick Payne, the originator of the Carp Zwolle show, which is one of my favorite shows in Europe. Mick, can you tell us a little bit about the show?
All the big companies are here. In fact, everybody who's anything about carp fishing is here. We have lots of visitors from all over Europe. If you look at this hall, our first show here was half of this hall, and now we have 5 halls.
There's a lot of people here. It's very popular. People coming far and wide, and it's nice to showcase all the new product and see all the new product that's in the market, and also transfer of information. You know, it's good for people to visit and meet anglers and pick up a few tips and things. It's a good day, really good day. This year we've released the R3 bite alarms, and this is just taking the bite indication one step further. We had a lot of success with the RS1 range, and it was just time for a revamp. There's a few nice little features, and it's very high-tech stuff, and it's one of the best alarms on the market. It really is, and they've been very well received across Europe, and they look the part, and they do the business.
So also the Swingers has now a light transmission or something.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting feature. It's very popular, especially on the European market. Actually, this is actually a fibre optic cable. So when you have an indication on the alarm, your head illuminates. So it's not permanently illuminated, and you just know that when you've had a little bit of action in the swim, it's a fish, because your alarm, you can set it so that you know that any indication is a fish and not just wind or weed or undertow or anything like that, and the indicator lights up and you know you're in. As you know, the double top was extremely popular throughout the UK and Europe, and it was one of our best sellers, and we just knew that it was time for a revamp, a little bit of a change, add some features, and what we've done is we've added this peak design to it, and that has radicalised the shape of the double top. A lot of people were used to the original shape, so this was a bit of a shock to many people, but everything has a purpose, and it's designed to increase your headroom. It's a large bivvy anyway, so we've increased the headroom, and we've allowed for an extra vent on the top, so on them hot days when that heat really is pounding in, and you can just open the vent and release some. There's also a vent at the back. You've got all the usual features, the inner capsule to protect you from all the insects and bugs, and nothing can get in. And it is really the sort of all-in-one. Everything you could need from a bivvy is in the double top Apex.
It's a real radical change, you know, with that peak. It's something completely new on the market.
Yeah, it's fresh, it's original, and it is based on the classic double top design.
This is Peter from Monster Boat, and this is the new boat he invented. And Peter, can you tell me a little bit why the boat is totally different than all the other boats?
Yes, we make a lot of research for this boat, because we want to have a boat who can every lake, every river. Then we make special engine, very strong.
It's 2 times as quick as a normal boat.
2 times. It's 8 kilometer, 10 kilometer an hour. He goes, but he don't make a lot of waves. He goes
straight ahead.
Straight to the water.
And also Toslan GPS system.
Yeah, standard is a Toslan. Standard inside with GPS. You can see the battery of the boat. You can see the distance. You can
all on the remote control on the bank.
Everything. The control is everything in the Toslan, and you can see the distance. You can make 500 waypoints, 500 markers. Yeah, it's incredible.
So if you go out with your boat, you can make a waypoint and you can bring it back and go easily back again.
Easy, at the 1
Even at night.
meter, the straight, same place
In
every
1
time.
meter, it's correct.
Correct, yes.
We are here with one of the big names on the carp scene. It's Martin Lok from Solar Tech. And Martin is for a very, very long time already in the scene. I know him since I was a boy, like that. Well, you know, 6 months ago.
there.
6 months ago. No, just joking. Martin is a really nice guy, an angler who is also very respected. Martin, what is your impression of the Carp Zwolle show?
Yeah, Ron, we've been coming over here since the start, over 20 years ago? And it just gets bigger and better and more professional every year. Anglers coming from, well, I don't know, 500-600 kilometres to visit this weekend. But it's just a really nicely done show, you know. The products available to the anglers now, compared with what they were 20 years ago, it's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know, I
it has
think-
changed completely.
Yeah, even if you want a carp angler, still come to this show and have a nice day out and see what all us boys sitting in the bibbies get up to.
Absolutely. When we
Incredible,
started
you know?
carp fishing, we had to produce our stuff ourselves, and now it's all available.
That's how Solar started, really. I started making gear just for me and my mates, and now I've got a lot of mates. You know, it's really nice to meet the people as well. You don't get a chance on the waters, do you? The lakes you fish, but it's great when you can stand here and they come from all over and shake your hand. You know, just nice to mix with the people, and we just show we're just normal guys, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Just go out and catch a few carp. And,
That's it.
yeah, it's no more than that, really, is it? Really?
This is the new inflatable car biffy, which can be put on the new Vortex 4 meter 20. It's a very heavy duty boat. It's custom made in Holland, all handmade. Then we've got the stainless steel rod holders to put your rod pod in. All sorts of rod pod holders we make. Just superb quality.
We are at the Biffy Lights stand, and here is Mike from Biffy Light. He has some new products to show us. I'm using it for a lot of years now. It's a good quality. And Mike, can you show us some new products?
Here is on the new product, BB Light Carp Signal BLSX1. It's the most tent light over the world. It's work with all receivers with Starkin Fox no name. We can test it today. Here's the signal sensibility. We make a little bit stronger.
I will tell them also. You see, when the noise comes up, the light goes on. So your Biffy has straight away a lot of light, so you can put your shoes on. That's very important. When it's dark and you get a run, straight away the lights go on.
It's 150 white gram whiteness. It's very low for the tent. You have manual boat for listener book, and later you can mix it with more power in the tent. BB Light BLSX1. You have light for more power in the tent. You can use magnet, including for the big BBs. Yes.
So at this moment we are at the Pure Fishing stand with Jan Mertens, who is the Benelux sales manager for Pure Fishing. Jan, what's your impression of the Carp Zwolle show?
It's huge. For us, it's every year. It's huge. We used to be here only with JRC, and now with the Chubb brand also. So we have two booths here. Really, quite a big square meters. It's very, very, very popular show. I think the best one in Europe, or one of the best shows in
Absolutely, it's one of the leading shows. I confirm that. Montluçon is another one. Carp Italy
is another.
These are the three big copters.
Really.
And indeed, the stand here from Chubb and GRC is a really nice one.
Yeah.
Are there any new products you have?
We have a few new products. Certainly in JRC, we have a lot of new products available. New BVs, new rods. Some new luggage series, new sleeping bags. For Chubb, it's actually Chubb and Grays are fairly new brands or new distributed by us in the Benelux. So we have new Outcast rods. The Air Curve rods from Grays are very popular. Sci-Fish domes, Sci-Fish BVs. So yeah, lots of brand new things to see.
So there is a lot going on in the company.
There's absolutely a lot going on. Yeah.
That's the way
and
it
it's
has
well
to be.
received by the public this weekend. So
That's
good.
very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, I'm here with Jan from Jaro Cells. I was walking around the show, and this is really a product which is inventive. And I saw it, I thought, we have to do an interview here. Jan, can you tell me a little bit what is different with the normal batteries, what we use for the electric motors, and this.
Yeah.
Why does it work better? Let's go back.
Let's take a look
Okay.
at the old battery first.
Yeah, there's the old battery.
Can you take a shot of that? That's what we all know, the old lead battery.
Yeah.
28 kilograms.
I know. Pain in my back from getting it into the boat.
After a few years, it's over.
Yeah.
And that is where we want to get rid of. So there we developed a lithium ferrophosphate battery. And it's effective.
It's much lighter as well. Eh?
It's much lighter, more energy density, and it has everything that an old lead battery doesn't have. And this is the same.
I can show it. Yeah.
And
It weighs nothing.
If you compare it to the 28 kilogram lead battery.
That's
And,
the same quality as that big battery which you just showed me. It's unbelievable.
It's also good for 2,000 times discharge. You can discharge it completely.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
So it's a product you can use for years and years.
It's for 10, 15 years.
Incredible.
And longer if you, it depends.
And you can charge your phone, you can put your how do you say, echo sounder on it.
Yeah, it's for
everything.
It's for your echo sounder. Here you have two USB chargers.
USB chargers. Yeah.
Connection for your motor.
And there's a charger, you can easily plug it in the 220?
Yeah, the fact the charger has the same connection. And the charge time is only depending on the size of your charger. So if you use a 20 amp charger, you charge it in 2 hours.
It's great.
It's crazy. You don't
Normally you have to do it on all night with a big battery. As you can see, they got all different sizes, from small and big ones. And,
yeah.
What's the heaviest power you got?
We have up to 100 amp hour batteries, comparable to a 200 amp hour lead battery. 13 kilograms instead of 80 kilograms. It is when you go out for a week or so, you take something like this. And then
you hear that normally it's 80 kilograms of batteries, and now this weighs 13 kilograms. And easily can charge it everywhere, so it's fantastic.
It's amazing.
I'm here with James from Century, and he's going to show us some new products. I'm using myself the C2s. They're made of nanofiber. Why is that product so strong, the nanofiber?
Okay, so it's a silica nano resin system. It allows us to make the rods very light. It also allows us to give a very quick tip recovery so that you can cast a long distance. Also, in terms of the playing action, gives you a really nice bend into the rods. It's an all-round rod, probably one of our most popular ones for the last few years. I think you've used the 13-foot rods. We have shorter ones, the 12 foot
as well. A lot of power is in there, eh? Still.
Yeah.
And then they're bent all the way. Nice.
Yes, they really bend into the butt section, so you feel as though you get a nice playing action.
Yeah.
But you still need to be able to cast on them as well. I'd recommend the 12-foot 3.5 for casting, or the 13-foot 3.5 for casting.
Can you show them a little bit on new products?
Please, no. So those are some of the C2s that we were talking about. They've been in our range since about 2011. Some of the newer ones, we now have what we call the C2 Big Brother. So this is the command distance.
Okay.
13 foot is standard. Has the same type of carbon fibre materials in that the C2 has in. It has Fuji titanium K-guides as standard. And as a rod for 13 foot casting, it'll cast a lot further than the existing C2 rod.
Yeah. I haven't seen them yet.
No, this is it. It's brand new out for 2015. We've just manufactured the blanks in our UK factory, and we're just now assembling the new rods over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So those are the C2 ones, the C2D. We also have updates to the range, so we still continue on with the popular rods like the NGs. They now have a carbon reel seat, nice new graphics on here, abbreviated shrink handles, small flares, black aluminium butt caps.
This was one of the first NGs I've ever used,
Yes.
and I'm still have got them.
Well, I mean, it's still a popular
they're
rod.
rods for life. You never.
We launched this rod initially 15 years ago, so we're still going strong with it. It's still a popular one in our range.
Okay.
Because we're over here in the Netherlands, one of the popular rods is also the
Kirk.
Armalites.
Yeah, and also Kirk. People like it in Holland.
Yeah, this is
It's a playing rod, eh?
a full super grade cork handle. Finished off with a nice Alps reel seat. We've tried to sort of do an update to the Armalite by putting in a few new green whippings that match the Kevlar blank surface, and the underlying blank though is still very similar to what we were doing 20 years ago. We still manufacture it just the same today. The only difference is that the fittings are updated. We now autoclave the butt sections, the tip sections, so that they've got a better action retention. They don't go soft after just sort of a couple of years. They really last sort of for a lifetime. And you know, we still have customers that come to us with Armalites from 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
That love them.
I've been with you guys in the fabric, and I've seen the thing where they do the autoclave system.
Yes.
They pressure all the air out of the Kevlar.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's why it's so strong and powerful.
That's correct. So what an autoclave does is for us it's compulsory to work in Formula One.
Yeah.
You have to have an autoclave. Most fishing rods here at the show, they'll just be made in an oven, cured. What an autoclave does is it's a high pressure temperature oven. It squeezes all of the air out of the wall of the blank. And what it does, it stops little fractures developing underneath the blank that you can't see, but it stops that happening. And what it does, it keeps the butt sections more powerful for longer, and it also reduces the chances of you breaking the rods.
That's what I've seen many times. When you throw a rod, it gets weaker. But with Century, you don't have that problem.
No, that's it. That's what it's all about. We're trying to make sure that if you buy a rod today, in another 6 years, it will be a little bit softer, but it will still be a lot better than maybe a competitor's rod.
I kept telling everybody that I was writing a book for many years, but I was lying. I was going fishing all the time and doing no writing. And but I kept saying I was doing it, you know. But eventually, I started about October time, and I wrote the book in 3 months, approximately. I did about 35 chapters, and well, I did more. And then I took it to Sim Paisley. He read it and he went, "Oh my God, you've done 2 books." You know, I wrote 2 books. I didn't realise. So we had to just make it a bit smaller. He says otherwise the book would have weighed about 5 kilos. And so I didn't do all technical stuff. Everyone expected just technical, and I think that's a shame. So I did more about my life, you know, from the early days when I was a kid, how I started, right the way to now. You know, there's loads of technical stuff on how to use the method and baits, and there's a lot of humour in it, you know, lots of funny stories. So that are real true stories as well, you know. I've wrote chapters about Lac de Dère in France, Lake Reduta. There's 2 or 3 chapters in there. There's quite a few stories, and lots of different places. So it's all about not just England, it's around Europe, you know, European fishing. Belgium as well, Surf Lake and Sabelco. So there's a big mixture of stuff for everybody, you know.
One more question. Why you call your book Every Bit of Blue?
Oh, well, when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet like we've got now. So if I wanted to find a water, I got an ordnance survey map, and I used to visit every single piece of blue on the map. And that's how I used to find all the waters. A lot of them didn't even have carp in, but if I found somewhere, I'd visit and try and catch a carp, you know. Didn't even know if they're in there, and I caught them sometimes. It was nice. So it always stuck in my head that, you know.
Nice name.
Yeah. Tim says to me, "Oh, it has to be called Carp, the book, something Carp." And I says, "No, it doesn't. It's my book, so it has to be my name for it, you know." But I like that name.
Carp Zwolle, what does that mean for you?
If I compare the amount of visitors from last year with this year, you see a really big increasing of amount of visitors. Especially the German guys, more arranged here now, and many questions about how to catch, of course, and
how to
everybody,
bait a bait,
yes,
to make a
to
bait.
choose, yes, how to choose your bait. More technical information to catch.
That's very important.
Yes.
I also heard that you do some tutorials, workshops. How does that work?
Yes, the workshops we are organizing now are the intention is to organize the guys for it and to tell and talk about the behavior of carps, fish generally in fish, and after that to connect that how to catch the carps. Okay. Not to catch the anglers, but how to catch the carp.
So that's very interesting.
Absolutely, and it's yes, many guys inform me after the workshop. Oh, you really f***ed my mind.
Okay, but That's something what we know about Huub. He can mess up somebody's mind. Carp Zwolle really is the place to meet all the big names in the carp fishing scene. Next to me is Danny Verbers from Corda. So Danny, we know each other for more than 2 decades. Danny, what's Carp Zwolle? What does that mean for you? And
what does it mean for me? Well, I've been coming a long time now. I don't think I was at the first one, but I think I was at the second one with my little tiny table with a few legs on top.
I remember those days.
Yeah. And it's just grown and grown and grown as a show. The presentation is better than anywhere that I've been around Europe. Even the English shows, they're not as good as this one. And they attract people from all around Europe, which I think is to their credit.
And the good thing is also the young guys who are here. There are a lot of young guys.
Yeah, there are a lot of young guys, probably more than you see in the UK actually, which is good. I think the difference between the UK and Europe is carp fishing is more acceptable here. Like you see girlfriends going fishing with their boyfriends. In England that doesn't really happen, so I like that sort of attitude. It's a more open-minded sort of view of it, and as a result more kids get into it, which is good.
That's very nice. Any new products in the range this year?
Yeah, we've got quite a few new things. The HeliSafe, which is the drop-off system for a helicopter rig, that's going to be the real big thing. Not our idea. A couple of guys came to us with the idea and said they'd like us to produce it, so we redeveloped it with them, made it a little bit smaller, and it's out in England next week. So here it will follow in a couple of weeks after. Things like ready-tied zig rigs, things like that. It's a difficult thing to get right. You can have them in your box all the time. If you have to zig fish at the last minute, it's there. So some new things and also some things to make it easier to fish.
Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah.
I'm here with Marcel from PB at the PB stand, and he's going to show us some new products.
We have the hit and run inline leds, and we improved them a bit. So we got a new coating. It's a system that is really carp safe. You can see that the lead is in the front. We have much more weight, so it's better in balance during casting. And also when the
carp picks it up, it has more weight. The hook goes better.
Absolutely, absolutely. The advantage of the hit and run system, it is a simple system, but it's very effective for carp. When your main line breaks, you will lose everything. Leader, lead, all things. As you can see, the carp picked up the bait, he hooks himself, and when he shakes, the lead comes off. So you have the drop system.
Yeah.
But now when the main line breaks, the carp will swim, the lead will stay, and even if there is 10 meter or 20 meters, it doesn't matter.
He always gets free. That's the most important thing.
Always gets free.
Yeah.
So the one thing he keeps in his mouth is only
just the rig, which is very important.
Yeah. And the fish will take for about 10 centimeters. At my main line, because it's 2 times 10 centimeters, is 20 centimeters. So I have a perfect registration of the bait.
Oh, it was an amazing show. Many people, incredible. What do you think about the future with this show, Mick? The future of carp fishing? How do you think it will develop?
Well, I think the way it has developed over the years, and is still going that direction, is it's a young man's sport these days. Because the younger people, they have the money, the motivation, they love the glitter, the glamour, the fighting fish, the bending rods.
Yeah.
And us old guys, we're still doing our thing, we like to fish, but things change. Young guys look at things differently.
And it's getting more global, I think. Eh?
Oh, definitely.
There's no country where they don't fish. It's unbelievable.
No, it's unbelievable. It is what you're saying. I mean, when I hear now about Hungary and Poland,
whole families
and
are
Russia,
fishing.
and
Women are fishing, their children,
incredible.
older people, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think for me, that's what it's always been about. Why do you have to be secretive and not share your hobby? We're sharing our hobby.
Yeah.
We're sharing it with 16,000 people this weekend. To me, that's the important thing. And the future is that we all share, we look to the future, to the youth.
So if you want to come to a good carp show in Europe, come to the carp show in Zwolle and meet us next year.
Még február közepe sincs, ilyenkor a legtöbb víz be van fagyva Európában, úgyhogy a horgászok nem nagyon tudnak hódolni hobbiuknak, viszont egy biztos, hogy az összes nagy gyártó kijött már az idei újdonságaival. Ezeket láthatták itt a Carp Zwollén, remélem önök is jól érezték magukat, mi mindenképpen itt Észak-Hollandiában. Legközelebb Prágába látogatunk, addig is tartsanak velünk!